Alright, so this game we have a Silver 3 Mender's Weaver, and we're looking at a legacy game. We'll see how it rolls, offer as much advice as we possibly can. So with the Weaver here on the red team, our comp looks, you know, okay. Lots of power damage at mid. If this indeed is actually a core mesmer, I'm suspecting it's probably just loaded a bit quick and he's going to be a Mirage instead. In fact, I can already see that this icon here is updated before this one has. So you got a Mirage, so you got basically 2 side noders and then just people to do lots of damage. Soul Beast has open lines of sight. I think your comp is okay, especially for a ranked queue where, you know, your supports tend to struggle a little bit more, and especially at a silver rating. The enemies as well don't actually look too threatening, especially if this is just a regular core net growth. That turns into a Scourge, and this is a Herald. Then, you know, they've got some strong stuff. A Daredevil, they got good Condi damage, a bit of side node, they got their own Soul Beast. So this looks about evenly matched based on the comps to me. Let's see what your build is. Your utilities look good. I like Lightning Flash. Okay, so your Mender's Scholar. Scholar I don't agree with at all. Scholar is a rune that will really give you a lot of value on very aggressive amulets, but it's kind of stupid in my opinion to mix and match very tanky, resustain defensive stuff like a Mender's Amulet with Scholar. This isn't giving you the value that you think it is. If you're thinking, oh, I just want as much damage as possible with this, you want to look at stuff like Might, right? This is not a very good idea. What I would run here is Sanctuary runes, because your resustain just goes ridiculous. Sanctuary runes, that T6, 20% of your heals become barrier. It's kind of like saying 20% additional heal potency on top of the massive heal potency you get from Menders anyway. Sanctuary is insane. Also, as an Ellie, you're kind of low vitality. Sanctuary runes give you more vitality, and then the barrier on top as well. If you start dying in this match, which I suspect you will at some point, I would say Sanctuary runes would have been better. So there's that. Your sigils look okay. Not sure what this sigil is here. I would go energy and cleansing. Oh, you've got courage. Yeah, if you're courage, I'd go like a strength rune. If this is really what you must, if you feel is important. It's not important, but if you feel that it is, because then you get more value out of your courage sigil too, and like your arcane trait and so on. As for traits, now this all looks good. I like this. So you've obviously gone very cleanse heavy because you're playing the Mender's Water variant. You've got the new water trait. This is post-patch. You've got the Weaver Grandmaster for the synergy. It looks okay. What I would say, though, is you probably want to play this variant when you're anticipating more condition pressure, and the other variant when you're anticipating less. Based on the enemy comp, which is 4 out of 5 power players, unless you're going to be 1v1ing that core necromancer a lot, your version is probably not that good. I'd go Sage Fire instead, because you just don't need all this cleanse for the people that you're fighting against. But as a principal thing, getting into the game, you know, as a silver player, maybe playing the tankier version is smarter for you. Alright, so anyway, on the start here, I would go close. I would immediately move here and hope that my Mirage pushes another engagement. I think we're better on close. That's what you do. So you take the Ride the Lightning forward. By the way, Dagger fan is very nice. I like that. You've Ride the Lightning and Lightning Flash. You're doing good earth rotations. So your opening is good here. This feels quite strong. You could have maybe updrafted forwards a little bit earlier, but it really doesn't mean that much. It's good. And you continue to rotate earth and air. I like this. So you're going to move up to mid now. So mid has not fully engaged. Your team's actually played quite well here. You've pushed 3. Oh, no. This is weird. So you've had 2 push to far, which means your final 2 players have been very scared to go mid. So you don't actually know enemy numbers. And we know that their thief is moving. You're looking purely at the minimap right now. That's what you're doing. I also wouldn't blow mobility here. I'd save it for in case someone crosses. Your camera's not good. Always, always, always. Low-rated players. You need to look to the right because you don't know what's coming. So this guy's moving up, but don't get too distracted. Someone could be decapping you. You haven't accounted for all the enemy positions yet. So yeah, you take the pressure on the rev. This is kind of nice. You face tanked his elite, but you had stabs, so that's fine. Okay, you Twister fated nothing there. That's not very good. Okay, so he's sort of rolling through. You're a little bit outnumbered here. This is fine. Just keep pressuring them here because you're basically defending close. Another Twister fate on nothing there. Bad. This thief's kind of telegraphed his existence to you quite clearly. Stay on the rev, yeah? You don't have to pull him to the node. It's his duty to go to the node. You could just hit him here. It's not a problem. You are outnumbered here, though, because this guy's coming back in, and you've held your camera quite well here. So this is high value for your team, because one of your guys is dead, right? So you need to be outnumbered here for your team to have a comfortable, you know, a 50-50 shot at winning mid, for example, right? To have equal numbers. So you've got to survive. You need to survive until the Rev respawns. You need to pick up for his failure. And you're 2v1, but you have to be 2v1 because of that death. So you got to be careful here. You're holding the node very well. So there's a choking gas. I'd be scared he's Condi. I think the poison stack here means that he's not. But this is really deadly. You want to be on the gravels so that you can't be ported on. If that thief's power, you might die very quick. I'd actually probably get kiting now. It's not that important if they debunk you here. You just need to survive until your Rev gets back on the board, remember? In fact, has your Rev respawned and died again already? I haven't really been watching. I'd probably kite up here since the thief is up there anyway. Another choice is an aggressive kite where you move up to his spot and the Rev doesn't pursue you necessarily. But I think this is my favorite spot right now because I think this is very, very dangerous. And if you die, you haven't done your job. So anyway, taking evade. I dodge roll in water now as well, which is very good. Okay, you've been skill forward from the Revenant's offhand sword. But still, I would dodge here. Sorry, I'm trying to press play. Looks like you went for a blast and you've died. Yeah, so you didn't get... Basically... that was part mechanics, but also part positioning and not getting off. You got to remember, if you're 2v1, it's a dangerous scenario. You're dodging kind of randomly. I don't really think you're watching animations. I think you're focusing more on just sort of chaining evades. And that's going to happen when you're new, and that's going to happen when you don't fully know, you know, you don't have lots of practice dueling revs and stuff. So anyway, that's a big fail for you there, really. You could still be alive while that's neutral. So on respawn, I would go close again. I don't know where you're going to go. I think close is probably the best play. Just because this at silver, they're likely to zerg off. But any one player who stays, you can probably kill. That's the idea of your role. Also, you don't need to reinforce far. Your Mesmer's already got a good matchup. So let's see where you go. Okay, good. You go to close. I like this. Again, I'd take my mobility. I'd treat this like the start of the game again, right? So why did you opt for a ride the lightning flash before, but not this time? If you felt that those cooldowns were appropriate before. I guess it's because you're worried the guy's here and you want to debunk him. And so going a bit slower and waiting for him to zerg off. So, you know, maybe that's actually pretty good. Because you don't want to 1v1 on his node. So, and you took kind of the sneaky route. You're holding your camera in an okay place here. You're watching the two most likely areas of assault. So that's good. You're going to full cap this again. Your Mesmer's won on far. That's nice. And you've won in mid. So you've got lots of wins here. It still looks a little bit dangerous, mind you. The thief has just made a play over there. I was going to say, you could play kind of carefully. So you want to rotate up here. You want to be very careful that, again, your camera's not good. Someone could be debunking you. Especially at this point in the game, where players are, like, respawning, right? Any one of these players that have died on the enemy team could just be walking there now, you know? And you're not looking for it. So, and like I said a second ago, you've had some wins, so you don't have to rush up too fast either. Here, you know, your ranger is seen. So you've gone well over the edge. You didn't... See, if you'd used your camera, you would have seen this decap. If you had watched your ranger and wondered why your ranger was running back here, you would have been tipped off. If you'd looked at the ping, you would have been tipped off. You ran over the ledge as well for absolutely no reason. You weren't looking at the enemy spawns. Just very, very low awareness and understanding of how the map flows. Also, this is now a big mistake. Now you're rotating to 3v1, which I know that you kind of feel like home is your job, but when you see a 3v1, I wouldn't do this. You've now abandoned mid, which was just hard won. So I would help my Rev who's going. Not even your Rev's going to mids. This is silver gameplay. Look, you're getting decapped. See, you could be at mid here. So don't think, oh, I'm home, I'm home, I'm home. Don't think I'm far, I'm far, I'm far. Think I'm defending a node when no one else is. That's probably a better priority to think about. I like your idea of aggression here, but I probably would have stayed on the node. Realistically, your ranger could have done that too. Okay, now he's turned around. Okay, so you can. Good, good, good. But you just gave up the map for nothing there. You've got to pressure that body. I don't like your movement here. I'm not sure. So, wait, was this Rev stealthed out and I'd missed that? And you had seen it? In which case, that's pretty cool. I'm not sure I like the ride the lightning there. Or these evades and going into water and these defensives. I'd be going... There's a lot you can work out mechanically here to pressure harder and do more damage. The chanting earth there after the earthquake was pretty nice. You've got primordial stance up, so that's good. You want to focus on pyro vortex a little bit more, and you want to focus on your fire earth mix. You kind of want to rotate through all of them as much as possible, but those are big priorities for you. That was a nice little fire grab. I'd be looking at my camera again for quarry. I feel vulnerable there. Especially, I just saw a thief was moving here. Watching that in real time, I saw the thief was there, and I'd be looking at the minimap too. Whenever you're... Here's a bit of advice for everyone. If you're in a situation where you're cleaving a body and there's really no risk there, already you should be looking at the minimap. That's what I was doing watching this guy's footage. As soon as there's not much you're thinking about with your skills anymore, it's minimap time. And that would have shown you a thief here. Now, I don't know what's going to happen because your ranger seems to have seen it. But I would be turning around for quarry here because you're going to get debunked. Also, this is an overzerg. There, the thief's on quarry again now. Oh, see this. You got full countered and you've twist of fated 0 damage. Like, you just took the tiniest little bit of damage. He clearly had no follow-up. And you blew your one of the strongest defensive cooldowns in the game. He's low. You didn't need to stomp. You were good to notice that your ranger obviously had your close point. So you could continue fighting here. Yeah, go over and stop them full capping. You hold this node. I'd play a little bit more defensive here because you are in a higher rated queue. They would kill you straight away. Okay, the thief is disengaged. You're going to want to fight this, but you should not fight this. You could have lightning flashed and killed him with the blink or something there if you really were going to go for this play. But this is a bad play. Don't chase a thief. You've let them full cap mid now. And your job is to be on nodes. You're playing like some high aggression, high mobility DPS class right now. And that's not what you are. You're a node holder. So that's a big mistake for your team there. I wouldn't chase the thief. And just try to remember some builds are better for certain jobs than other builds. And this is not a build for doing that necessarily. You did good to notice the 100 blades and stop the res. And you went water and you resustained. That's sorry, it stopped the DPS. You stopped resing. Here I would weave self and stab stomp that. You got feared. You're trying to sustain the res. This is really hairy. I wouldn't try to do any of this anymore. I'd go to the waterfall. Or the quarry, whichever one you wanted. But I think your team has lost this. This is really weird to watch. I can't believe that stomp went through for your team. So it's kind of nice. I'd updraft that there. Okay, you did get it, but you had a mob and then you tried to ride the line in. That's a very PvE mindset. You're Churning Earth pre-casting Lightning Flash. He's in range, man. Don't use that. He did use it. Okay. It's like you know certain combos from PvE, but they're not really good combos. And you're not using them very well. Okay, you've got a real mistake. Remember that they have health when they're in down state. There's no need to stomp in a lot of these. It's taken you a long time to realize that stuff. So you've lost the rest of the map because you're kind of zerging mid. That's how you managed to force that through. Here you're trying to stomp a thief who will always just teleport away. Remember that any player in all of Guild Wars 2 in downstate has a skill 2. It's instantly available to them and it will deny your stomp. So you need to think about that skill. A thief will always teleport. This is a waste of time. I would DPS it. And look, he got cleaved out anyway while you were stomping. So imagine if you'd done cleave 2, it would have happened all the quicker. Cleaving is nearly always the right way to go, even on a Mender's Weaver a lot of the time, in a team fight scenario. Here, I probably wouldn't re-engage myself. I'd go quarry, because I don't feel like this is my role. They do need some pretty hard carry here. This is a great res if you can get it. I would updraft right now, that 100 blades. You rode the lightning and you got the kill. You actually got a kill where I wouldn't have there. I would have just gone pure CC. See, this guy's making the same mistake as you. A lot of what you're doing right now is working out because players are also mechanically inept. There's so little damage around. There's so little focus. There's so little anything. So you're able to like face roll some of these engagements. But these will 1000% get you killed as you start climbing rating a bit more. People will focus way better. Anyway, yeah, so you finally come here. You recap this. This is nice. So your team has lost mid. So you bailed out at the right time. I think this is very good. Your Mesmer's carrying your team, by the way, because he keeps winning 1v1s. So what I would do now is play very cagey. Because listen, your entire team has just died. The enemies are going to snowball. They're going to split between you and your Mirage. You're the only side noders. You're going to be the only ones alive. And so there's going to be heavy incoming. I mean, if the enemy team splits really evenly... But I would just be careful. I'm watching my Mirage on the minimap to see how many he gets. They might all zerg back to the Mirage because that's their close and they might prioritize that more. Okay, so it looks like you've just got one, but be aware because they got Thief, they've got Rev. Oh, we just saw there's a Rev here as well. Okay, so this is dangerous, so be careful. This Warrior's auto rampage, so you want to go defensives. You're trying to use CCs again. So Rampage gives him stability, which means Polaric Leap won't interrupt, and the mobility isn't relevant for you. I think you tried to cast this. That's why it's on a longer ICD right now. That's not going to do anything. You want to be in water. You want to be sustaining, because this is Rampage. You're going to get CC'd into the Rev here. This is like the start of the game again. You need to sustain. Ooh, and you've died instantly. Okay, so... And now you've vapored off the node. Okay, so this is a really bad mistake as well, because now they can bleed you. In a higher rated game, they'll just leave you here now. If you stay, what you want to do is vapor onto a node in a scenario like that, so that they're forced to stomp you to get your respawn quicker. But what they could have done is just left you for ages there, and baited your allies might have come and rezzed and been baited into bad fights. This ally of yours has just walked into a 1v3, right? That was a terrible vapor form. So listen, your entire job on this map is to sustain 1v2, is to win 1v1s. And you're not doing it. You're dying way too quick. You're too scared to get off the node. Get off the node. And at least when you see a rampage or whatever, you want to use your evades more carefully. That stuff's just going to come with time. There's nothing. I'm not going to handhold you through every little bit of how to evade all the rampage skills. Maybe log into a warrior. So yeah, the enemy team luckily is silver tier gameplay as well. So they're just going to wander off without really thinking. Okay, good. So you got one comeback. It's a Rev. This is a brilliant matchup for you. You should be able to win any Rev 1v1. I don't know whether you know any of his animations. I liked your opening there, by the way. You had updraft ready, so when he ports in, you could have instantly updrafted. But then you swapped and to a lesser set. But good Gale Strike there, I think. Oh, no, you Polaric Leaped. I think all your observation is about, you're trying to, like, rotate through. So here, I would have Pyro Vortex there. This Rev doesn't really know how to stun break or anything. You've got a plus. I actually don't like this plus. It would have been much more efficient for you to win this on your own. Your team, actually, if they'd all come here, then it would have been a beautiful regroup. But as always in ranked, people don't understand that, so you get two just wander off. Basically, these guys are wandering into a 2v4 now. Well, not necessarily, because the enemy team's also coming. Like, if these two came to close, you would have won this, because you already have kills. You already have momentum here. The enemy team rushes in against your 5-man Zerg. You get out on the map again. That's a regroup. That's not really about your gameplay, though. There you dodged into a fearing. Your camera feels very claustrophobic and close. I don't like it. You're dead again because of the rampage and you're not dodging. That vapor form was a waste of time and not very good. You want to wait with the vapor form until they try to stomp you. Yeah? If you vapor form early, you don't have it for when they try to stomp you. And also, you stop your allies from being able to res you. So that was a big throw there. I think, once again, your death was extremely punishing. I think you could have sustained. I think that was partly on your team. Your team is atrocious, by the way. They're just walking away as you get decapped in mid. This is one of the most painful games I think I've seen. Which is really nice, actually. I really appreciate it for the value it offers this way. To actually see how all the silver gameplay is going. So, inefficient movement through the base here, and I don't know why you're moving inefficiently through the base. Perhaps you're trying to do that thing again. Like, you're looking, aren't you, at the quarry? You're hoping that they zerg off so that you can get the decap and take a more favorable 1v1 that's less punishing for your team. But yeah, going close again I think is good. Okay, so this warrior is already the highest intelligence player of the whole thing. He's got a node and he's actually holding it. Wow, amazing. So, yeah, you got a 1v1 with warrior. You can win a warrior 1v1. If he's very good, you could struggle, but I doubt he's very good. So nice combo there. You see Siege, you put Pyro Vortex on him. He didn't move out of it. That's good. I wouldn't have twisted... You're twist of fating just random stuff. You don't need to do that. Just because you're stunned. Keep watching what they're doing and react to them rather than just impulse CC breaking. Especially with this cooldown. You could have just waited half a second and used Earth 2. I happen to know that that was a Dagger 3, which he probably didn't have much follow-up for. I can't even imagine how much adrenaline he'd built yet. So there's a full counter. I dodged that. You can use the sound effect for that. That was a nice CC, actually. Oh, here he's shield block and you've procced this. So if you use your elite, you can unblockably break the shield block. I doubt you'll do that, though. Oh, my God, you did do it. The highest level play so far you've made. Good, and you followed up with a twin strike, I think that's called. Another pyro. There you go. You've won the 1v1 with that Pyro Vortex. Beautiful. So I would now double air and updraft him off just to win the node. I wouldn't stomp this. There's no need. You might already have the node without needing to do that. And if you were going to stomp, you could have dodged his hammer. Remember, they always have a downstate skill too that they can use. So you had an ally move in unnecessarily so. Unfortunately, I don't think the game's winnable anymore because is just too bad. I feel kind of bad for your Mirage, who knew their role and was doing it reasonably well. You were very smart there to not go deep. Let's pretend it's not the end of the game. By not going deep, what you've done is you've not got yourself instant killed. And in fact, you can now decap them because it's so horrendous, the gameplay. Okay, so again, another twist of fate. Randomly, he had a single Mark 5. That's a hideous usage of that cooldown. Taking the kill on this is good, by the way. It's a good matchup for you, but the game's obviously over. I do think that was a winnable game. I do think it could have been winnable on you. I think your mechanics are poor. I'm actually being a lot harsher to you in the commentary than I have of even worse players on this series so far. But yeah, I think you could do a lot with your mechanics. I think you can think more about what enemies are doing. I think you can hold your camera better. But in general, your choice of where to rotate each time you've respawned has been reasonably strong. And you seem to know some things about the spec. Change the rune as well. Every time you died there, you might not have, even with really bad gameplay, just because you were Sanctuary Rune. So try and give that a shot. I hope this was somewhat insightful to you. Again, I really, really appreciate the submission. Thank you so much. And anyone who has the balls to submit a loss in silver automatically gets a lot of my respect. So anyway, thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on the next one.